your network, or you can contact me by my email. And also, the slides are already shared because there is less changes during the sessions, and the recording will be shared here. This is a Zoom session, so the recording will be generated by Zoom app. I think it's half day after the session ends, and then I will receive the recordings status, this including password and the link. After I receive them, I will copy and paste them in these text file. So you can go here and get the recording link, and you can get access to the recording with the password. I don't have the date for the expiration of the recording because it is Zoom. So I think you will probably need to get to the recording as soon as possible if you want to refer to it. But the expiration date for the entire SharePoint folder is the last day of December 31st. Okay, that's all about the recording and slides. Now let's get back to our content. Let's first start with the fundamentals, especially some general concepts of BTP and integration suite. I think we are all familiar with SAP Business Technology Platform, and it is a unified business-centric and open business and technology platform, and it is also the foundation of intelligent enterprise. There are 4 pillars of BTP. Database and data management used the solutions such as SAP HANA Cloud, SAP Data Intelligent Cloud, and SAP Data Warehouse Cloud to store, access, connect, and interpret all kinds of data, not just from SAP solutions, flexibly, effectively, and at the speed business demands. The second pillar, analytics, use SAP Analytics Cloud, including planning and forecasting functionality, and facilitates rapid decision-making in order to transactional consistency to allow the business to become truly insight-driven. We also have application development and integration. This is where SAP Integration Suite lies, and it connects systems and business processes with agility and speed, and rapid build and extend applications across the value chain, thanks to offerings such as the Integration Suite and Extension Suite, and also SAP Process Orchestration. And the last pillar is intelligent technologies. It ignites the innovation with artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, and intelligent robotic process automation technologies to change the way we live and work. From different perspectives, let's look at Integration Suite. From the technical perspective, we can see that applications or cloud services on BTP can be categorized in hyperscalers, application foundational, and data plan. So for the hyperscalers, you can look at infrastructure at the bottom of the picture. We have Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, Alibaba Cloud, or SAP on infrastructure, or your private cloud. And integration suite lies in application plan. For the development services, we will have low code, no code. For example, we can use the graphical workflow, or we can create forms and things, business modeling. And for high-level coding model, we have SAP Business Application Studio. Using the framework of CAP or RAP or Fiori, SAP OData APIs, and we also have the Cloud Native Foundation. For example, the PaaS, Platform as a Service, production products like Event Mesh, logging, identity management, Kubernetes, as the container technology and techniques, and also the microservice serverless functions. And now let's take a look at what is inside of the integration suite. What capabilities or cloud products that integration suite contains. So the whole picture, let's first look at the components. On the left-hand side, we what can be integrated into integration suite, or what can be connected to the integration suite. We have SAP solutions like SAP Customer Experience, SAP S/4HANA, SAP Ariba, SAP SuccessFactors, SAP Fieldglass, SAP Concur, and we also have the government services that can be integrated into SAP Integration Suite. And we also have third-party apps like Slack, Twitter, QuickBook, OneDrive. In our scenario, in our use case, in this learning journey, we will look at how to integrate into Slack. And we also have B2P partners using different standards or protocols. And inside the cloud shape, we have components inside of the integration suite. The task of the training is to implement an integration scenario using SAP Integration Suite and its 4 core capabilities. So the 4 core capabilities are already circled in the red square. We have cloud integration for end-to-end process integration. We have API management to design, deliver, and manage all your APIs. We will also learn about open connectors to simplify non-SAP connectivity. And the last one is Integration Advisor to accelerate the interface design with the help of machine learning capabilities. And for the rest of the content, for example, here, data integration, it is a service to transform distributed data into vile data insights. the master data integration to exchange master data across business applications. For example, exchange cost center and people data between SAP S/4HANA Cloud and SAP SuccessFactors Employee Center solution. We also have Event Mesh, enable the application to communicate asynchronously through message and event. And yeah, so the integration suite with all the capabilities are running on different hyperscalers environment. Here, before the integration, let's look at the 4 principles. We need to do the integration. We can use the integration suites out of the box, which means the integration supports end-to-end processes and provides prepackaged integration artifacts. And in today's content, we will also learn about where to find the prepackaged integration artifacts according to your need. And also, we perform open integration. Besides SAP application to SAP solutions, we also offer the integration open for other third-party integrations, and also the custom extensions to the SAP solutions. We will have lots of application. We will have lots of public APIs and other connectors to do that. And let's talk about holistic integration. We support all types of integration use cases, such as process to process, data to data, user, and IoT. And we also use AI in our integration suite, that's what we call AI-driven. The crowd-based machine learning to speed up integration development with precise suggestions. Okay, so the learning journey we based on is developing with SAP Integration Suite. Let's take a quick look at the learning journey. So this is the learning journey associated to this session. And if you look at it on your own, you will find there are 5 units, and you will take 5 hours to complete that. I think it's more than 5 hours. Oh. 10 units and more than 5 hours. And you will look at the API provisioning process of API. Yeah. But in today's session, we will quickly go over the theories as well as the practice contained in the learning journey. And the use case is we have a fictional company, eCar Hero, owns car fleet and orders parts from its suppliers. eCar Hero has their backend system, ERP system of SAP S/4HANA. So here we will simulate S/4HANA backend system using the sandbox on SAP API Business Hub. And why eCar Hero wants these integration is to easily process the supplier request. For example, an SAP purchase order coming from their backend system in SOAP format, they need to send it to I think they receive from the sender is old data format, and they want to send it to the supplier as a SOAP format. So this is also where we want to implement in the integration. And finally, they receive the message, and they also want to send the message into a Slack channel. So here we will show you how to integrate to Slack. Here on the right-hand side, we can see the architecture graph. We have data and backend layer and standard API layer, consumer layer. At the data backend layer, we have the backend system source. That is what we use the dummy purchase backend using the sandbox. And we will also have the notification target, that is Slack. And on the standard API layer, we use open connectors to communicate with Slack. And we also use API management to manage the open connectors as API. And we use, we deploy it in the enterprise business hub. And in the consumer layer, we use cloud integration advisor to map between different format of this message. And we use cloud integration, also the cloud integration, to build an integration flow to send the notification to the Slack. If you are following the hands-on, you might need a BTP account. So here I will give you a brief introduction of BTP account. Actually, we have different types of BTP account. We have enterprise trial, that is for individual developers to learn about BTP, so they can use it for free and they can get access to basically nearly almost all the cloud products And we also have free tier model for SAP BTP. That is, if you are using the enterprise account, different from trial account, enterprise account, then you can also choose the free tier of a certain service, and which means you can use it for free. But because it is free tier, so it has just the basic functionalities. And if you want to build a production environment or productional application system, then you need to transfer the free tier model to other three model. So let's look at pay as you go. You have an enterprise account, and you use pay as you go to use as many as you want without the commit beforehand. On the contrary, you can also use CPEA to pay a certain amount and then use the resources deducting from your cloud credits. That is the amount you pay. It will brings you a discount. The bigger discount is given by the subscription, single service subscription, which means you have a fixed commitment to, for example, 3 years for a certain service. Then you subscribe to the service and you use it. For these, for the exercises in this session, we will need the trial account. I will later show you how to create an SAP account and then open your BTP trial account. You can see all the services available on BTP by going to service catalog page. I have attached a link on the slides, so you can click and go to see the services available, and then you will find all the services in SAP Integration Suite there. And if you don't want to so far do the exercise on your own, it's fine, because on the learning journey, you can choose to go through the exercise by clicking on the exercise, and there are a certain way to do to help you to go through exercise without actually having the going to the environment. I'll quickly show you how. So here we are on the learning journey page again, and let's go to a certain content, and here you can see we can start the exercise here. It takes a while to open it because it has many screenshots. here at the bottom, it shows you how many steps you need to complete for these typical exercise. So here you can see this is a screenshot of the actual environment, and you can follow the instructions and clicking on something. For example, enter your email, then you can type in the email address in the input box. Here I enter and then I click, I hit enter key and I click try for free. So you can just follow the instructions. It is also an approach to complete the exercise in case you don't want to open the environment. You don't want to open the account and do it on the real environment. Okay, and after you have the trial account and open the trial account, you might see there are 3 types of environment. The first one is Cloud Foundry. It is open source PaaS enabling developers to deal with complete application development lifecycle. And ABAP on BTP, it is actually in Cloud Foundry, but it is also an environment. It focused on application extensions to ABAP-based products. For example, S4HANA. If you want to do S4HANA extension, then you can use this environment. And also Kima. It is based on Kubernetes. It is focused on potential to extend monolithic applications by using microservices and serverless functions. And we also have a SAP environment Neo on SAP data center. So it is somehow legacy. So if your company or your customer's company is using Neo, then they might be suggested to migrate to other public or private cloud environment. Okay, let's first look at the exercise of SAP BTP trial account. How do we open a trial account? You can refer to this developer mission by clicking the link here. Let's see. So we're now looking at the demo of where to set up the environment. Wait, let me first show you how to create a trial account in case you don't know how. let's speed up. So you go to sap.com and you first register for an sap.com account. This will help you to create a user account in SAP ID service. You need to provide your email address, typically business email address, and also your phone number. And you will receive an email ask you to activate your account. Your account is now activated. Then you can go to your trial, BTP trial, where you need to verify your phone number and agree on the terms and conditions. And you will choose the region to create your trial account. And then you can see the global account, sub-account, and as well as the Cloud Foundry environment is enabled, provisioned for you. And then you go to this BTP cockpit. Now let's look at how to set up the environment. So again, I will speed it up a little bit. Now you're looking at the global account overview, and you go to Service Market to find Integration Suite. You subscribe to it, and then you go to the user security. For example, find the admin user and add the raw collection of integration provisioner to the user. And with that user, you will be able to open the Integration Suite cockpit. Now you open the Integration Suite cockpit, and you can be able to add the capabilities. The capabilities that we use is integration, cloud integration, API management, the four capabilities we mentioned in previous slides. And after you activate the capabilities, I think it takes a while, then you will be able to go to the user's management again on BTP cockpit and add all the raw collections associated for the four capabilities to your users. And we've done here. And after you add the raw collections, you will be able to go to the Integration Suite cockpit and open the services from the integration cockpit and use the services. Let's go back to the slides. Now you have an BTP trial account and you have initialized the environment. This is the step that we've done with our BTP trial account. So you first go to SAP BTP cockpit, and then you go to the Service Market, find SAP Integration Suite, and you subscribe to the service and select Activate button, and then you go to default user section, security user section, to select default identity provider, and you search for your username or other username of the administrator and assign the raw collection to it. And then you go to Integration Suite cockpit to activate the core capabilities of Integration Suite. That is cloud integration and API management, open connectors, and integration advisor. And then you assign the roles and collections to your users. Okay, now let's look at the use case. So we have in total 37 steps across across different applications to finish the whole use case to retrieve purchase order information from SAP Cloud, SAP S/4HANA Cloud to Slack channel. I will also share the workflow graph of these use case. Let's first quickly take a look at it. So we're now looking at the graph. We first start from SAP BTP trial count, and we have now covered the create a trial account, subscribe to SAP BTP, SAP Integration Suite, and enable the access to the capabilities and add role collections. And then we will go to Slack to create a Slack account. That is step number 5. And then we will go to Open Connectors to create a Slack instance and test the instance. After testing it, we will go to API management to create an API proxy and test the API proxy and create a product. And then we will go to API Business Hub Enterprise. I think it's better for me to share my to zoom it in a little bit. So after the API management, we will go to SAP API Business Hub Enterprise. So we need to first enable these capability as well. And then we create an application, find and save the API key, create Slack channel, find and save the channel ID, and save the URL for sending messages. And then we go to the cloud integration to create an iFlow called purchase order. We will have 2 iFlows in our use case. And the first one, purchase order, is to receive the purchase order message. Then we go to API Business Hub to find purchase order interface and find the sandbox and text and test the interface and save the API key. And then we go back to the iFlow on cloud integration to consume the interface. And here we go to integration advisor to do the rest of the steps. This is the content on day 2. So yeah, we will look at this content on day 2. Let's go back to the slides. Now we will look at how to connect to Slack. We use open connectors. So an open connector is a pre-built API integration that enables connection into a specific API provider in endpoint. For example, the Salesforce or here Slack. Connectors share common services including discovery, search, query, pagination, bulk uploading and downloading, logging, and interactive documentation. It is designed to unify developer experience across all kinds of applications and services. For example, Open Connector for CRM Hub provides harmonized APIs independent of a particular CRM. Still, SAP seeks to support the richer set of of APIs than a single application provides, even when not all the connectors in that category share the resources. For example, Salesforce Sales Cloud has APIs that many other CRM applications inside of the packages do not support. SAP keeps connectors up to date, the same as other out-of-the-box integration resources. Each connector is a multi-tenant connector supporting an unlimited number of authenticated accounts with no additional code required. SAP Open Connectors enables connections to more than 160 third-party APIs. Based on these, it creates a standardized REST and OData interface that is easy to use. Especially in a combination with SAP API management, a page in SAP API Business Hub Enterprise can be created. And now we will do the exercise to create an API based on Slack. So the business scenario is the notification about new purchase order is to be delivered via Slack. And for technical reasons, we will encapsulate access to Slack inside of SAP API management. You will create an API based on an Open Connector instance. We start by creating a Slack account and a workspace by logging to slack.com, and we set new purchase orders to be the workspace name and training to be the project name. Skip unnecessary steps. Then we create a channel with the name notifications that will be used to push purchase order notifications. Skip adding people to the channel. And then we go to SAP BTP cockpit trial subaccount, services, instance, and subscriptions, and click on Open Connectors to enter the service. In the instance section, we select Create Instance, search for Slack, and search it. Select it. In the next screen, we enter new purchase orders or other name in the name area. We select OAuth scope field, add chat right into the first position, but do not forget the comma and the space after the inserted string. And then we click Create Instance. Then you'll be directed to the Slack where click on Allowed will automatically exchange authentication data between the integration suite and Slack. You will be back in Open Connector setup pages now. You go back to the connector section, select your connectors and then the API doc tab, where you can test the Slack instance by selecting the endpoint get channel and click try it out. By clicking the execute, now you should get a response with list of all channels from your workspace. Note down channel ID property of your channel, and now test writing a message to Slack by using post channel ID messages. Click try it out by providing the channel ID value as a parameter before that. And then you click the gear icon in the bottom left of the Open Connectors menu. You would be able to copy and save the organization secret and user's secret. I think I see some participants are raising hands. Hello, Vona. Do you have any questions? I see you're raising your hands, and I think you can talk now by unmute yourself. Okay. So feel free to ask questions if you want. Okay. I think your question is how to get a copy of the slides currently being shown. I have shared the link to the SharePoint where I put the slides. So I will send it to you again. And the other colleague asking, in BTP trial account, how can I change the region? I think you can only choose the region when you create the account. After you create the account, because one sub-account is for one region, you will not be able to choose the region for your sub-account. So you can delete your current sub-account and create a new sub-account based on the region. And there are limited regions for you to choose from if you are using trial account. Okay, so let's get back to the slides. Then we will explain SAP API management. With SAP API management, you can publish, promote, and oversee APIs in a secure and scalable environment. You can also empower developer communities to monetize data and digital assets in new channels, devices, and UIs. It means some of the key benefits of SAP API management are common platform for efficiently define and publish APIs. Related APIs are bundled and offered as a product. Comprehensive consumption analytics capabilities, monetization feature for all API providers, improved security added by the system, access control capability enabled by use of the system, manipulation of payload, providing testing facility, automatic scaling in runtime executed by SAP API management. In essence, API management functions as a middleware between a software API and the one you want to externalize at a different URL. Now, go back to the exercise. We have created a connector instance to Slack, and now we go to API management, open the API management service from Integration Suite homepage, and then we choose configure in the menu on the left, and then click on create to add an API provider. We enter a name for the API provider, and in the connection tab, we choose open connectors as type and select region to be the one from your trial account. And then we enter the organization and user secret that we copy and paste from the open connector menu. And then we save the API provider. And then we navigate to develop section by accessing the link in the left menu. We will here expose a new API. We create a new API, select API provider type, and select the one we just created, API provider Slack workspace for orders, and then we click discover to pre-fill other elements. We choose the new purchase orders open connectors instance and click OK. We enter the version number and click create and save to finish the creating. You will then be able to deploy your new API. And then we can test it by going to the test utility and click and choose Slack version 1, that is the name of our API. And we choose the get method and select URL, ending with channels to be able to to be able to get the information of all the channels. After the testing, we need to create a product in the API management portal. So go to the home screen of the API portal, choose product, and make the following selections entries in the overview tab. And then we click add and select the API we just created, Slack v1. And we need to open API Business Hub Enterprise portal because we need to initialize it. And then we publish the product. So here it is a demo for all the slides we just all the steps we just go over. We can have a quick look at it. Okay, so now here you enter your email in the Slack channel. I think I can speed it up a little bit. Oh no, we cannot speed it up. You skip all the add teammates process. Now you can go to the channel. You can add a new channel here manually. We call it notifications. Now we open the integration suite. We open connectors page. Here we search for Slack connector. And we create an instance for it. The configuration here, we add chat write, be able to write in the chat. And we hit create. These will guide to the Slack, and we allow the permission. And we go back to open connectors. Now we can test the channels. For example, we want to get all the channels information. Click try it out, it's execute. And the response is 200. And we can find notifications channel we just created. We can note down the ID of the channel to send message to the channel. So in the channel ID, we copy and paste ID and hit execute. You see the response is 200, which means we are successfully writing the message to the channel. Let's see. Yes, we can see the message we sent to the channel from open connectors. Now we need to note down the organization secret and user secret. We go to API management to create API for the connector. We first create API portal. The type is open connectors. If you're not sure what is your region, you can go to the overview page of the sub account and see. But normally, it will automatically choose for you. And here we paste the organization secret and user secret. Now we create an API. With the API provider as a connector. Now we deploy the API. We can test the API we just deployed. We can choose still get all the channels. Yeah, the response says 200 and all the channels are retrieved here. With the notifications, now let's create a product. To monetize it with the quota and request every month. The product includes the API we just created for Slack. We can save it. And then we go to API Business Hub Enterprise. If it is your first time to visit it, it might need some time to initialize it. Set up successfully, and we can open it again next time. Now we deploy the product. the product has been published. Okay. The next exercise is to create an enterprise page in SAP API Business Hub. You want to release the previous created API products in a centrally accessible place within your organization. To do this, you will create an API Business Hub enterprise page with the released APIs. As mentioned, you access API Business Hub enterprise page by clicking on the link on the top right, and you click on Manage in the main menu to go to the Manage User, and then Registered User. Enter administrator email address to send notifications to and confirm. You select plus icon in the Register Users area and add a user with the property values below and save. And you go to My Workspace link in the main menu to create an application. Click plus to create the application and set supplier Slack app for this name. And product and choose at the product and choose supplier Slack that was created in the previous exercises, and save the app changes. You will find the application key displayed in page, which is required for all the calls. So you need to copy and save the API key, application key for later use. So for the last part of the exercise, it is planned that we create a new Slack channel to send the test message to that. Here we can test it by go to the homepage of SAP API Business Hub and select Supplier Slack, and we select the exact API and select channels, select post channels. We can choose a name, for example, purchase order, current date, and then we hit send or hit execute, and it will create a new channel for us. And we need to save the ID for our new channel, and then we can send data to the new channel we just created via API. We go to channels, post, and message, and choose try out. We need to copy and paste API key here in the authorization header, and also the channel ID, and then we execute it. So here is the demo that we can see. We first create a manage user for enterprise page. We add all the roles for it. Just save. And then we go to My Workspace to create an application. The products we choose is what we created on API management. And we click save. Now we will be able to go to the product. Here we can test the API. For example, we create a new channel. So we just post channels, and here we need to paste the key, application key. Execute it. So the Slack has been created with a name, and we need to note down the ID for the channel. Again, here the authorization, we copy and paste the application ID and execute. See, the message has been successfully sent. So and the channel has been created, and then here we send a message. We can verify the body. This is the URL we will use to communicate with Slack. So we can go to the Slack and see, here is the new channel we create, and here is the message we send to it. Next, we will take a look at the consumption and processing of APIs. So here we will show you how do we search APIs on SAP API Business Hub. We need to find the old data service for SAP S/4HANA and consume it. So the link to SAP API Business Hub is very simple, api.sap.com, and we go to the URL by clicking the link, and we choose S/4HANA Cloud. On the top content bar, we choose APIs and choose OData version 2 and search for purchase order, view the content, and we find the purchase order and find GET. Then we can test it with the samples. We can view the returned purchase orders and take note of the API key. Then we can use the API key to communicate with the sandbox on SAP API Business Hub. We also need to copy the API sandbox URL and save it. Now let's see how do we do that on api.sap.com. So we go to OData version 2 and search for purchase order. And go to try out. We find the purchase order here, get purchase order. We click run. This is the sample purchase order we can get. And we can look at the request. In the header of the request, there is API key. We need to note down the API key. And we can also look at the API key by clicking Show API key on the right up. To do this, we need to first log into the api.sap.com. And next, we will learn how to create an iFlow consuming the API keys and also the API products on SAP Cloud Integration. SAP Cloud Integration helps you to connect cloud and on-premise applications with other SAP and non-SAP cloud and on-premise applications. These end-to-end processes and integrations are supported through the exchange of messages. The solution enables users to build integration flows, what we call iFlows, that describe message transport between the source and the target system and the transformations executed on the content. It is basically a specification of how a message is processed. For the process of building iFlows as adopt integration artifacts, an enterprise-level graphical editor is provided where implementers can configure the most complex iFlows and do coding only when they choose to incorporate scripting elements. Multiple related integration flows are grouped in a single integration package. A large base of out-of-the-box integration package is available in SAP API Business Hub and ready to be downloaded. The system was also known as Cloud Platform Integration until recently we changed the name from Cloud Platform into a BTP, so it becomes Cloud Integration. So let's discuss the elements which the graphical editor provides for one to build integration flows. Senders and receivers, adapters. We have adapters as the technical protocols used to connect to a sender or to a receiver. And the adapters between senders or receivers and the tenants are, they have SOAP, OData, HTTPS, AS2, SFTP, and when they initiated by external calls, we call them pushing, and when they triggered by timers, we call them pulling. And we also have all kinds of events like start message, end message, terminate message, start event, and event. Then we have message transformation, where we can choose it to convert messages from one format to another. The message transformation are also have many categories. We have content modifier, converter, decoder, encoder, filter, script, and we also have mapping to map the input message structure with the required format for the output message structure. We will talk about mapping in our next session with the introduction of Integration Advisor. And then we have routing. For example, we can route the message into different branches: multicast, join, splitter, and gatherer. And we can have local integration processes, which is the subroutines invoked by single or looping process call. And in this use case, we will have one local integration process. We will also have an exception integration process. Here it is all the components we just mentioned. Participant, we have receiver and sender. And process, we have exception process, sub-process, integration process, or local integration process. Event, we have an event, end message, arrow end event, arrow start message, event, etc. We will use some of them in our build of the iFlow. We also have several for the event, for example, you need to know that usually we use start event to be the first step of an integration process. But if the integration process is triggered by a timer, then we just use the timer. End message is the last step of an integration process before the message is delivered to the receiver. If we use terminate message, then we terminate the process without sending message to the receiver. If we have arrow, then we use arrow start event and arrow end event to start and end an exception subprocess. We also have escalation, that is not abort the integration flow process as a whole, but only through the escalation event, and set the status to be escalated. If we are using local integration process, and we use start event and end event for the start and end of the local integration process. Okay, now let's look at the last part of exercise that we will cover today. Create iFlow purchase order. We navigate to the SAP Integration Suite tenant and then select the cloud integration capabilities. And then we give the name to it and edit it. We go to the edit page and we select the sender, receiver, connector, start message, and event to delete it. And we can build it from scratch. I think we can look at the demo directly. And meantime, so here we add the cloud integration. And create a new package. In this package, we add an iFlow as the artifacts. You can also add an iFlow by upload. Currently, the version is 1. And we click into the iFlow to edit it. Now we can delete all of what we have to start from scratches. The integration process is the pool where we add the component in. Now we need to consume the S/4HANA sandbox and get the message from it by request reply to the API. Here we first add start timer to trigger the process. And then we need to prepare the request. We need to set the API key as the header. So here, we copy and paste the API key here. We can also make it externalized. Make it a parameter. And then we request reply. Here we add a receiver. The receiver will be the API that we request for. And here we add a link, which will be the adapter between the iFlow tenant and the receiver. The address is what we copy and paste from API Business Hub. So the source path is purchase order. And the query option here, you can copy and paste it from the slides. Okay, that's all we need to cover in today's session. Next time, we will look at SAP integrations advisor. And I see some questions. Do we need to do these exercises along with the lecture, or we will be doing after this lecture? I think it's up to us. Yes, I think the exercise help you to get better understanding about the content. So you can choose to do it, or you can choose to do it on the trial count environment, or you can choose to go over the exercise by just clicking the exercise in learning journey, which I already showed you. It will show you some screenshot of the what will happen in the exercise. Just like it's very similar to when you actually doing exercise. And I would say that it helps us to better prepare for the certification. But the certification is more focused on the theory, so theoretical part. So, for example, what are the components and what are the event. So, yeah, it is helpful, but it is not mandatory. And there are 3 questions in Q&A. I think I will stop the recording and then answer the questions. Stop recording.
Recording stopped.
Just wanted to check if mine is correct. I have to have API management if I need to connect APIs running on BTP to a front-end application outside of BTP.